Hey everyone, today we are talking about house hunters beware. This is a great topic. The top buyer turnoffs you need to know. We're also going to be talking about the orchards at South Forsyth. And then we're talking about what we love about North Atlanta, which is bagels. And then we're going to talk about our design tip of the day is talking about flowers, indoor flowers. So that's really fun. So let's dig into it. Hi, Sue. How are you doing today? Sorry.
Good. How are you, Mary Ellen?
I'm doing great. So we are talking about a fun topic called the top buyer turnoffs you need to know, with some photos kind of included here too. So let's go. Let's dig in.
Yeah. So, what do buyers hate to see in a home? And, what are the instant turnoffs and red flags and death by 1,000 cuts, so to speak, when you're trying to sell your home as well as when somebody's, looking at your home. So the first one here, first impressions matter.
Yes.
And they start at the front door. So, a poor first impression is an instant turnoff to people. Dirty or cluttered homes, buyers don't want to step over toys. They don't want to step over your clothes. They don't want to be distracted by an unmade bed or piles of laundry. Those types of things don't allow people to fall in love with your space. And along with that, the other thing that buyers hate are strong odors. So, cigarette smoke, pet smells, mildew, even like those fakey perfume air fresheners.
Whoa,
those are all red flags.
But what you need to do, I tell people, let's do a tip. Bake some chocolate chip cookies in your oven.
Yes.
And let the smell of the house. That's an old school thing, but I still feel like that works. I just, it's you don't want the smell of fish or something that you just cooked for dinner, right?
Yeah.
So throw some cookies in there, and now you could just like throw them in the microwave and have them smell or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Or you can buy candles that have cookie smell. I mean, you can find candles that have every kind of smell, but
yeah, I caution people though with candles because I don't want home sellers to light the candles and then leave.
Nope, definitely not.
Right.
Definitely not. No, I'm talking about putting the candle on, blowing it out before you leave. Not no candles. No candles, no candles. So yeah, just cluttered homes, it amazes me being in this business, really amazes me how many people don't keep a tidy home,
Right. And you're moving. So start packing before you even list the home. Yes. That's the easiest way to keep it decluttered.
Yes. Okay.
Because we always want to deep clean, declutter, and depersonalize the home before we take the photos, before we start showing the home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right.
So the next photo is, this one always gets a chuckle. That's actually a fairly modern looking bathroom, but it has carpet in the bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, did anyone, I don't understand how anybody could think about putting carpet in the bathroom.
I don't know. I was showing property this weekend, Mary Ellen, and
oh no,
I saw it a couple times.
No, ew.
And I was in nice neighborhoods and,
So interesting. I don't know where even this trend came from. Sorry. It just, yeah. All right. So tell us about carpets.
It's outdated.
Yes.
It's unsanitary. And it screams, this home needs updating.
Yes, definitely. Carpet in the bathroom. Yes.
Right. So what other things, Mary Ellen, make a home look dated? Things that can easily be updated that sellers should take care about so that buyers don't groan when they see it.
Yeah.
First thing on my list is brass hardware and outdated light fixtures.
Yeah.
Especially those light fixtures. Have you ever seen a ceiling fan that's just kind of so old that it's drooping and the dust on it is awful?
Oh, that's, you know what? I go into houses and I definitely look at chandeliers and look at ceiling fans. And if I see a ton of dust on it, I'm like, ew, gross. Yeah.
Right. Right. So, Mary Ellen, if you go to the next photo, this is something that I always hate to see.
Oh,
It's popcorn
popcorn
ceilings or
ceiling.
damaged ceilings that have been water stained, not repaired properly, not repainted properly. Yeah, and that
That's a
ceiling fan
huge
there is pretty
turnoff.
dated too.
I'm sorry.
Huge
It's such a
turnoff.
huge turnoff. You don't
Yeah.
even go like popcorn ceilings, forget that. But damage, like you see water damage on a ceiling and then they never painted it. And do you know if they fixed it? It's just always a red flag. Definitely a red flag.
Yeah. So one house that I looked at this weekend with my buyers, yeah, it had popcorn on the ceiling, but they had done a great job in painting the home with a fresh, neutral, clean paint color before they listed it. And the house still had other flaws. Trust me, it had a really funky staircase, things like that. But the next picture Mary Ellen's going to show us is something that is a real turnoff. Over the top or bold colors. Now that's very, very cute. Don't get
Very
me
cute.
wrong. But it's not cute when you're trying to sell a house and you're trying to appeal to a broad group of people.
Unless you're on a street where all the colors are the same.
Like maybe in Bermuda or
Yes, in
someplace,
Bermuda or Italy or something like. I always get
Yeah.
those European vibes when I look at doors like this. But you're right, not in
Right.
the US, right?
Right.
Well, the HOA probably wouldn't allow it anyway, right? We have HOAs here. They'd probably be like finding you every day to have that color on your door. I will
Right.
guarantee that.
But I'm talking about not just on the door. I'm talking about inside the house.
Oh, yes.
People
Ugh.
don't want to see purple rims. They don't want to see bold
yeah.
red, bold orange. Yeah. And the cost of a can of paint
Yes.
is relatively small.
Very
To
small.
repaint it before you list your home than to have some buyer look at it and get turned off.
Yep. I agree. So yeah, over the top colors have got to go.
Right.
And it dates a home too, you know,
Right.
like if it was a trendy black color or trendy this, it just shows that the house just needs to be repainted and stuff.
Right.
What's
Another
the
thing
craziest
that-
color you've ever seen though in a house?
What's the worst color I've ever seen
Yeah.
in a house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. When people paint an entire room black, things like
Yes,
that.
me too. Black.
Yeah.
That's just like I mean, I know there's a lot of UGA fans, so they're going to have black walls with the dogs and stuff all over it. But I don't know, just
Yeah. I mean, I like to decorate with black actually, because a piece of black furniture actually nicely anchors a room. But when you're painting 4 walls and the ceiling black, no.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So another thing that is a silent deal breaker is the lighting in the home and the flow of the home, which some of that you can't change, but bad lighting can make a home feel drearier than it is. Mismatched or
Dated.
worn out light bulbs that don't work anymore. How many times have you walked into a bathroom and not only does it have that dated light fixture over the sink, but some of the light bulbs don't even work anymore?
Yeah, I mean,
and they're trying to sell their home.
Exactly. It's such an easy fix. Go in there, go buy matching light bulbs and put them there.
Right.
Remember, you show your house and you live in your house 2 totally different ways.
Right.
So we are showing a house. We are not living in the house. So I think people have to have the mindset that when they list their property, they are relinquishing, living there. It's really a showcase home.
Right.
Until they sell.
So, and not every home is perfect. No home is perfect.
No,
let's put it that way.
Definitely not.
And there are some things that you just can't change about a home. Like the next slide, Mary Ellen, is the location of the home.
Yes.
And buyers dislike homes that are on busy streets with lots of noise and traffic. And so, it's a safety concern for a lot of buyers. But unfortunately, the seller who's trying to sell that house can't really change that because they've got to make that house look special in other ways. That's the first impression when you come to the front door. It's, making sure the home is clean, tidy, decluttered, depersonalized, freshly painted, making
Yes.
it look move-in ready. That's how you combat that type of property when you're trying to sell it.
Yes.
Properties that back up to commercial buildings are a no-no for a lot of buyers.
Yes.
If you back up to a gas station, good
No.
luck. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we're going to get to one though. That is.
Yeah. Yeah. Power lines and water
Yeah.
towers are another one, and that's on our next photo, Mary Ellen.
Yep. That's why I was saving that power
Yep.
lines, because
Yep.
people don't realize, and then they're like, well, that's no big deal. I said, yeah, reselling. Yes, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
So I
it is.
tell my buyers and sellers and people I know, I'm like, listen, ultimately you have to live in this house, but I am going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about the
Right.
property. So you have to take that with a grain of salt, because if you're wanting to sell your house per top dollar, I'm not sure this house in this picture is going to get top dollar. That looks a little crazy. That looks like,
Yeah, that's a little over the top. Maybe it's in a great school district, Mary Ellen.
I don't know, but I still
Yeah.
would not. I just, sorry. That's
Yeah,
one.
because school districts with low ratings are a turnoff for buyers, even for buyers that don't have kids, because it affects future resale also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you wonder, what the condition of the rest of the neighborhood is around it, because, that can make a difference on whether a buyer should consider the home power lines or not. Because if the home's in a beautiful neighborhood, but the yard of the neighbor next door is a junkyard.
And you know what? People like always go crazy about HOAs here. And honestly, if you want to keep the value of your home here in Georgia, HOAs are a good thing, because they do deter from having a junkyard in your next door neighbor. I know there's like certain states, and I'm not going to name the states, where you have this $1 million house and next door you have, I don't know, like a, house that's boarded up, right?
Right.
And then you have another, house, and they're not in subdivisions. So there's no one to say who lives next door. There's a trailer next door to that. So here, and it's just because we're in this metropolitan area, you're going to see that, maybe downtown, you'll see a really nice house, and they don't have a lot of subdivisions. But if you live in the suburbs, North Atlanta, you're going to see a lot of HOAs, and for a good reason, because people do want to keep the values of their home. I think it's like mandatory here. Like, people really look at that. Don't you agree?
Oh, I agree. I think the buyers here are very picky, and sellers need to be aware of that. I mean, we see both sides here, where we have sellers that don't want to do anything and sell their home for top dollar, and that's just not going to happen.
Yes.
And then we see buyers that overthink the process and become paralyzed because they can't make a decision because they've overthought it. But, there are certain things we do suggest buyers avoid. And one might be, a certain type of home style that, might not work for their needs, or might really just be an oddball in the neighborhood and not really blend in. The next picture we have is of a split level home. Okay. Now, this is a nicely renovated split level home. It's certainly somebody's certainly taking care of this home, but many buyers don't like split levels because you come in the front door, you have to go up 6 or 7 steps, or you have to go down 6 or 7 steps, and you're constantly up and down the staircases, and these homes feel choppy. And actually, they do feel dated because of their layouts. There, in the next photo as well, Mary Ellen, this is something that we see a lot of here in the North Atlanta area in some of the newer subdivisions, where a builder's come in and he's built too much of a good thing.
Right.
and they're too cookie cutter looking. There's
Right.
too much uniformity, and buyers struggle to feel like the house has character. So
Sure.
sometimes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And they call them the cookie cutter neighborhoods, right?
Right, right.
And it's also like the builders come in and they clear cut everything. So obviously you see there's no trees because see how the trees are around the neighborhood here,
Right.
but they're not in the houses, and people have to put their own trees up to have privacy. So.
Right, right. So the other thing that I've seen, even in these newer neighborhoods, is where somebody tries to build out the back and they build a really ugly addition on the property, an awkward sunroom or a non-permitted garage addition or something like that. That creates a lot of questions too.
Sure.
So, if something looks weird, it probably is weird.
Yes.
If it doesn't match the rest of the house, you need to ask whether it was permitted, things like that. Because buyers need to know if the work was done with quality, if the inspections were done, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of problems that can kill a deal.
Yes.
Poorly done renovations again. This is one we just mentioned. Buyers, and if you go to the next slide as well, buyers are turned off by difficult driveways. They're turned off by things that, we do get some ice here. It is North Georgia, but we do get some ice. If it's a driveway that's difficult to navigate, when you have a sheet of ice on it, or you can't even get your trash can up and down the driveway with comfort, that can be a turnoff to people. I love this photo because there's actually stairs at the end of this driveway, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, and it's such a pretty house too. And I think it's a personal preference. There are going to be people that are going to buy a house like this, but it is also a deterrent as well.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe in San Francisco, this would be perfectly normal, but not here.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think in the next slide that you have, people don't like hilly backyards,
Yes.
or hard to use backyards, things where they can't see their kids playing easily. I was in a house this weekend and you walked out and there was a patio area and a little bit of a yard. And then there was this staircase that went straight up without railings. And you couldn't even see what was up at the top of the staircase. It was that steep.
Wow.
Here it was the rest of the backyard. And, that can be a bit of a challenge for some people, especially if they have small kids. This particular staircase really needed a railing on it. But it was, up until that point, my buyer was interested in the home and then saw that and said, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's interesting, even from experience. I'd like to ask our viewers, what is a deal breaker for you if you're looking at a house? Like, what is I will not look at a house that has, wires. I will not look at a house that has a steep driveway. And it's very interesting. I always tell my buyers to Google the area and the property, because sometimes photographers are so good at masking some of these situations that you never know.
Right.
So I always say, let's Google Earth it first, and then you see what's around it. So if there are wires or is a steep driveway, photographers can do magic,
Yeah, I showed a home, was going to show a home about a year ago. It was up in Cumming, and I knew the listing agent. So I thought, look at these beautiful photos. She's done a really nice job with this. And we got to the house. It was at the end of a cul-de-sac, but the driveway went straight up. And you couldn't even see the house at the top of the driveway because it was so steep.
Yeah.
And there was no indication of a steep driveway in those photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to sell a house, right? They're trying to get people in there, but then the people don't go in there, so they understand too. You know what I mean? And that's why another reason why you tell your buyers that they have to do their homework, right? And their homework is to drive neighborhoods so they know that neighborhood has a lot of steep driveways and maybe not.
Right, right. So I think our next photo shows something that can be very difficult for a lot of people. Some people don't care. Maybe if you're down in the city, wouldn't matter to you.
Yes.
But tiny yards or zero lot line properties or homes, especially with no fences, can make it tough for pets. It can make it tough for children. It can make it tough for families to be interested in buying that home. Also, if the home is not oriented correctly, uh, you know, the blazing sun is always going to be coming in windows where you don't want the sun. That can really sour a showing as well. So some of these things are not fixable. They do affect pricing, and sellers need to keep that in mind. It does affect buyer interest. And as an agent, it's our job to help buyers weigh the pros and cons and find the best possible home for their needs and their budget. And also, when we're working with our sellers, our job is to make the sellers price the home realistically.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, but there are some things that can be overcome and are not necessarily a deal breaker, but could dissuade some people. Some of those things would be like a dated kitchen or a dated bathroom, but the house has a great location in a great school district.
Right.
Those are things that down the road you could move into the house, save a little bit of money, and then renovate the kitchen or the bathroom at a later date.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
A home with weird paint.
Weird paint
A home
colors.
with weird paint colors, but great bones, and maybe a great floor plan and a great
easy
location.
fix.
That's yes, an absolute easy
yes.
fix.
Yeah.
How about an older home that has a lot of charm but a closed floor plan?
Well, as long as you can see that you can open up walls, I think that that's, like during your due diligence time, I would get a contractor over there to make sure before you purchase the property to make sure they could open it up and see a whole nother vision. And I love when you walk into a house that was so tight and they opened up walls and stuff.
Right.
What can be done.
But,
and it's amazing what can be done in renovations of kitchens and things like that too.
Oh yeah. Totally different than it was before. But you do, in some cases, if you're taking down walls, don't forget, you need to get a structural engineer in there to look at it so that you're not doing something that's going to, harm the integrity of the home as well.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Are we done with this? Anything else to add?
I think that's it.
All right. So now we're going to go off into our next little segment, which is neighborhood highlights. And we're going to talk about the orchards of South Forsyth.
Right. Okay. So Forsyth County is a great place for seniors to live in because there is a reduced tax for seniors. Basically, they're not paying the school tax. But this particular community is being built by the Orchards. The Orchards is well known in the, a senior living or a community in the area. These homes are priced from the low 500s. They're located at 2745 Atlanta Highway in Cumming, and these are selling quickly. This is an active adult community, and it's very close to Alpharetta. The community features 88 home sites, 2 separate types of products. And the first collection is the Arbor collection. These are all master on Main villa townhome designs. Mostly, most of the living's on the main floor. The second collection is called Southern Heritage. And those are ranch condominium plans with 2 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms plus a den. These are fantastic locations. These are close to exit 13 of Georgia 400, right off of Peachtree Parkway, Highway 141. It's close to the collection. It's close to Halcyon, near Fowler Park. And, there's just a plethora of restaurants and shopping within 5 minutes of this location.
Yes. So yeah, that was great information on that community. And I know that a lot of people do like the orchards for a
Mhm.
55 and older community. I find like they're a little tighter and smaller communities, and everybody gets to know each other inside those communities. So
Right.
that's what I see with the orchards. All right, so what do we love about North Atlanta? We love bagels. Okay, that's a loaded question for me, being from New York. I'm not a fan of any kind of bagels other than New York bagels. There are some choices that are good. So I will let Sue talk about this today.
Well, one of my, I debate this with my daughter all the time as to where we can get a great bagel. My daughter's favorite used to be BB's Bagel up
Right.
on McFarland,
It
and
is very good.
unfortunately, it
Very
had a
good.
fire. Hopefully, they'll be back someday.
They are
But
actually coming back very soon in the next couple of weeks
oh, good,
at a
good, good,
new
good.
location that they won't say, but it's, coming back. So,
Okay, well, that'll make a lot of people very happy. But there are other places that have great bagels too. And one is Bagel Boys. They're located on Haynes Bridge Road at Old Milton in Alpharetta. And they make their bagels fresh every single day, of course. They have a full deli style breakfast and lunch menu, egg
yep.
sandwiches, soups, everything. And they've got great coffee. Wonderful, wonderful coffee. So,
Coffee. Okay.
yeah.
Bagel and coffee. That's a good thing.
They also do catering service if you're looking for catering. The next one I'm going to mention is also on Haynesbridge Road in Alpharetta. It's called Grouchy's. They're
Okay.
Grouchy's New York Deli and Bagels. They've been in business since 2000. They do have fresh bagels, whipped cream cheeses, big egg bagels, matzo ball soup, Reuben's hot pastrami sandwiches. It's for dine-in or
Oh,
takeout. They also have outdoor seating options and indoor seating options. They're known as Atlanta's best morning sandwich. It's their
nice.
scrambled egg on a bagel, and it's very, very tasty.
Yummy.
The next one I'm going to mention is on Old Milton Parkway in Alpharetta. It's New York Deli and Bagel Cafe. They too have fresh bagels, croissants, and pastries baked every single hour, 100% fresh all day long.
Oh,
They feature boar's head meat, Seattle's best coffee, breakfast burritos, soups, salads, and catering.
nice.
The next one is a favorite of mine as well. Brooklyn Bagel Bakery and Deli. It's located at Haynesbridge Road and Old Alabama Road in Johns Creek / Alpharetta. They make handmade kettle boiled bagels, fresh daily in a true New York style. They also serve deli sandwiches and hoagies, and they're highly rated for their authentic taste and texture. So, Mary Ellen, if you haven't tried Brooklyn Bagel Bakery, you might need to go try
I
that.
might have to try that. But
Yeah,
sometimes it's all about the water.
right.
It's all
Or
about
the water. You have to say water.
water.
WOODDER, water.
The water. Yes.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
the water. Okay.
And then my last one on the list is the Bagel Hole. They're in Cumming. I have heard that it's rumored that they are also opening up in Alpharetta soon. They're
Ooh,
currently
rumor
on Beach
has
Street
it.
Parkway in Cumming.
Nice. Fantastic.
So they too have the large handcrafted New York style bagels with plenty of schmear, which is cream
Schmear
cheese, for
stuff.
those of you that don't know what that is.
Right. Well, bagels are good, and we'd like to hear if you have any other shout outs to any bagel places you like in the North Atlanta area. Let us know to that as well in the comments. All right. So now we're going to talk about the design tip of the day. And we're going to talk about 5 easy to grow flowers that you can
do in container gardens outside.
Nice container gardens. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of us don't like to dig a whole great big garden, but we want flowers.
Yes.
So grab a container, and there are lots of places like Pikes that can help you, select flowering annuals that can go in your container very nicely. Make sure that your vessel has good drainage holes, that you're using fresh soil, and that you're using a nutrient-rich potting mixture with that soil, and you're watering it daily so that they don't dry out. So My top 5 picks are number 1, geraniums.
Yes.
Geraniums, I don't think anybody can kill geraniums. I mean, even if they go totally dry and you don't water them for a while, they still hang in there. They still bloom, and they hang in there all summer long into the fall.
Yes.
And you can get blooms in white, pink, red, all different shades. And they do like full sun, by the way. These are sun-loving plants. The next one that loves sun, that is a favorite of mine, is sun patience.
Okay.
These are annuals that grow and bloom, and they have vivid colors, all different colors. They come in different colors, and they will last until the first frost in your container. And they are also a bit drought tolerant. They do like water, but they can tolerate the drought. But that's just in case you forget to water them or you're away a couple days. They're also very nice in, a standing container or a hanging container.
Okay.
This next one's one of my favorites just because of the size of them. Mandevilla.
Okay.
These are you feel like they're on a tropical island when you see Mandevilla.
Nice.
I just planted 2 by my garden gate, and they are brilliantly colored flowers. They're tall plants. They have lush green foliage, so you get this beautiful green leaf with them, and they're great for containers. But some of them, if you take care of them, they can grow up to 20 feet, and they can last more than just this year if you bring them in the winter.
Sure. Great.
This next one is one of my favorites. It's perfect in a hanging basket in particular, and that's a fuchsia plant. A lot of people don't even know what a fuchsia plant is, but it's almost like a double flower. And they usually are very pretty purples and pinks and a little bit of red. They're a little droopy. They have tubular flowers. They're just a very interesting looking flower themselves. And the next one is called Calabrachia. This is our 5th flower. They come in all different colors. The first time I saw them, they were called Milton Bells.
Okay.
I thought they were perfect little petunias, actually.
Okay. All right.
But you really should, you can put them in a trailing pot. So maybe put something else in the center of the pot and let these trail over the edges. And you don't have to deadhead the blooms on them. But they come in blue, yellow, pink, orange, red, purple, white, variegated colors. So you can find the perfect color that goes with your.
And remember, these containers can go in the front of your front porch. They can go and enjoy out on your patio. That's where I have a lot of mine. And by your pool or on your front porch. Especially if you are selling your house too, it's great to have 2 potted plants in, to invite people into your home.
Right. So, great first impression plants.
Yes, very good, as well as enjoying them on your own too as well. All right. So today we talked about a lot of stuff today. We talked about what turns off buyers when they're going to houses, different scenarios. We also talked about a subdivision called the Orchards at South Forsyth. And then we talked about bagels, all about bagels, New York bagels. So we'll see how good they are, right? Let us know what you like bagel-wise. And potted plants, like to put in containers what do they call them? Potted plants. Now they call them containers. That's more, I guess, trending right now. No, it's really more trending right now because it's like my daughter's like, oh, we got some containers to go put on our backyard. Like, oh, that's nice. They're not like we used to call them potted plants. So, right. Yeah. But anyway, containers. So you talked about all those things. Thanks for tuning in, Sue. Thanks for giving us such great information about the North Atlanta area. Reach out to us. You can fill out a Google form and we can make an appointment with you, or just let us know what else you want to hear about, because we love to talk, right? We love to talk about areas. So anyway, everybody have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.